welcome to Israel. Hope that you're having a good trip. And unfortunately, this place and where you've been this morning is part of our Israeli life and experience. And we're very honored that you wanted to come here and pay your respect to our brother Tzion. And thank you, Yoichi. Would you say a few words about him? Tell school?
Yeah, since I never actually got a chance to meet my Uncle Tzion, but I know I've learned a lot of things about him because even if I see them every single one of my family members, so that kind of experience to see them recreates his image for me. I get to see what he's like, and I don't know. I get a lot of stories from my dad and everyone of like what he was like. He seemed like a very good, righteous man. I don't know. I'm sorry that I didn't get privileged to meet him, but I know that he's here now.
I thought of saying a few words so that you just... I'm sure you heard about the war, right?
לא כל כך, היא יכולה להגיד.
אני יכולה?
כן, אני גם יכול, מה שתרצי.
אתה יכול להסביר להם על המלחמה ואני אסביר להם על...
יום הכיפורים?
כן.
Okay, 1973, Israel was attacked by Egypt and Syria. There were two main fronts. This time Jordan stayed out of it, okay? We talked about 1967 a bit yesterday when Jordan was involved in the war. 1973, Syria and Egypt attacked Israel on Yom Kippur, the morning of Yom Kippur, and everyone was in synagogue. And there had been signs in the offing, there had been signs that this was going to happen, but for some reason, some people high up fell asleep, and the country was taken by surprise. In both cases, Syrian tanks crossed quite a way into Israeli territory, and on the southern front, a lot of the fighting took place against Egypt in the Sinai Desert.
And our brother was in the war, as you said. It was taken from the synagogue in Yom Kippur, where the siren was heard. And like all able men, he also went to the war. He finished his regular duty in the summer of 1973. So this was his reserve duty, first reserve duty. He was a paratrooper, and he belonged to a special section of the Nachal paratroopers. And this is his. I carry it with me. That's the paratrooper sign of Israel. And I carry it with me since then. I thought of, you see graves and you see names of people, but we don't have faces to see. After he was killed, together with his friends and family, we put out a booklet about him, and you can pass it around, and you can see there's a picture of him and pictures when he was a child and as he grew up. His name is Tzion. Tzion in Hebrew means the son of Zion. He was the firstborn of my parents after they came from Iran. My parents came to Israel from Iran in 1950, and with two children, two boys. One of them is Eli's father, my brother Joseph, and my other brother Shlomo, who lives in Jerusalem. And Tzion was the third boy, but he was the first son of Zion, and this is why that's what they named him. Lots of things we can tell about him, and what I thought the most important was he was very modest, quiet person. And the main motto of his life was to help people, no matter who they were, no matter what they were. As he was growing up in high school and afterwards, after his military duty, he used to be a youth guide to underprivileged children. And he always told them, first of all, to serve the army and also go to study, because that was very important. His children came from difficult families, and he thought that if they go to school and they serve the army, they will find a good way for them in life. He played the guitar. He loved playing the guitar, as well as writing poems. He wrote many poems. And the theme of most of the poems were the love of Israel. He loved Israel. He was a great hiker. He loved to hike all over the country, especially he loved the desert. And as you see in the book, you will see many pictures of him doing hiking with his friends in the desert. Unfortunately, he died when he was 22, so he wasn't able to go to university. He planned to go to university just a few months before he got killed. He registered and he wasn't able to make it. He also said that, in his opinion, it was essential that the Israelis and our Arab neighbors become friends. And he didn't just say it, he acted upon it. In 1967, he was in high school when there was a 67 war. Our house was right at the border with Jordan. And when the 1967 war broke out, our house was the first home to get bombed. And my mom was home. We were in a shelter, my mom was home. And right after the war, 3 days after the war was over, he said to us and to my parents, we have to make peace and we have to know who our neighbors are. So what he did, he just 5 minutes walk from our house, lived, it was the Jordanian border, and the Jordanians lived there. Today they call them Palestinians, then they were Jordanians. And he just walked in the streets and walked in the neighborhoods. And all of a sudden he saw an older gentleman and befriended him and started talking to him. And the guy, as it turned out, he was an interpreter for the Jordanian radio station. And the guy spoke, my brother didn't speak Arabic, the guy spoke a little bit Hebrew. And they became friends. And the guy, my brother was 16 or 17, the guy was in his 70s. 75 even. And he brought him over and we all was shocked. He said, wow, you just at war with these people, you bring in this guy home. He said, no, his name was Hamdi, the Arab guy was named Hamdi. He said, he's my friend. He brought him over and from then on for about a year, the guy used to come every day to our house and have lunch with us. He loved my mom's Persian cooking and he became part of our family until he passed away. A year or something later, and my brother said that by being one-on-one, we can get to know our neighbors, and it is so important for us to get to know them. And he learned a little bit Arabic from the guy, and befriended his family as well. And we always think about the things that he said, how important it is to get to know your neighbors, and maybe one day be able to live in peace with them. And this is his legacy that he left for everybody. Now I just wanted to explain a little bit what you see here. This flower is from his high school, the high school he went to. And every year, every high school where that have soldiers that fell in the war, they go to the cemetery and they bring one flower and they put it here. And this flower is from the government of Israel. So tomorrow, you're not going to be here, but there's going to be maybe, if you can imagine here, about 200,000 people. And it's going to be crazy, mad with people. And the reason they covered here, because the Prime Minister and the President, now they're going to be speaking right around there. So this is why this area is, they didn't let you go to Rabin now, right? Because it's already set for security for tomorrow. Now, if I can have one of the books, I wanted to read you his last letter that he wrote to our family from the war. As you can see here, he died on the 28th of October, and this letter was written on the 25th of October, 1973. He said, to everybody in the house, Shalom. As usual, we're feeling well, and our morale is very high. Yesterday, we received letters from children from high school in Jerusalem. We were very happy, and as you know, we answered them right away. I imagine that your heart is with us and that you're very worried about us. But just know that we're okay, we're safe. I do not know when I will come home because we don't know when the war will end. It could be soon, it could take a long time. In the meantime, please take care and be strong. Be strong. I miss you, and from now on I'm not going to have an address to write me, and I don't have a telephone that we can speak. So that's why I cannot call you. Please say hello to everybody in the family, and I love you very much, Benson. And that was the last letter he wrote.